What is your theory, or what is your kind of philosophy around finding a good technical question? Whether it's coding or whether it's architecture, depending on the competency of the role.
Yeah, I kind of take the approach of starting with, I mean, there's tons of example questions online. So everyone at this point knows leak code. Everyone knows that if you're interviewing at any of the big companies, they're going to be using some leak code question for the coding. There's just no getting around that at this point. So I think the first thing to do is just kind of look at those questions and understand kind of broadly the various algorithms that are probably going to come into question, the various data structures that you're going to be asked about. Complexity is definitely something you're going to be asked about, and just be flexible, right? Just be ready to kind of apply knowledge on these different things to whatever question you get asked. For me, I don't do a lot of coding day to day, but I have to stay on top of these things, right? So I am able to ask questions that are broadly, for me, more about do you understand data structures and complexity pretty well? Do you know to pick a hash when you need to use a hash versus a linked list or whatever? And for more often when I'm interviewing senior candidates and I'm talking through system design, the things I'm looking for are, do they understand scaling? Do they understand scaling problems, right? Do they understand to, have the right kinds of, region failover and load balancing and, systems in place to handle whatever the situation might be. And so we'll talk through a lot of those things. Let's talk about setting up, mechanisms to make this stuff automatic. For DevOps roles, I want to make sure that someone understands CI, right? I want to make sure that someone understands automatic rollbacks, right, in your pipelines. So those are the kinds of things that if someone isn't familiar with at a particular level that I'm looking for, especially at a senior level, then that's kind of a problem, right? And it's not the case that they wouldn't get hired if they don't understand those things. But it is the case that I'd probably want to bring them in at a lower level, because that's just something you need to understand really, really well inside and out before you're coming in as a senior. I mean, technical questions, it doesn't benefit you as a hiring manager to throw anything out that's a softball. You want to throw something out that's pretty difficult, that's tough, but possible to do in an hour, 45 minutes, for a strong candidate. I think the rubric that generally that works well is if in a debrief everyone's not pretty excited about the candidate, it's not a hire. Like you want the team to feel pretty strong about this is going to be someone who comes in here and contributes and really raises the bar. If it's a lukewarm kind of conversation about the candidate, it tends to be no, this is probably not someone we want.